need to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to give away some Vortex binos, and you can't win unless you do. You heard it here first. Like, comment, subscribe. Every single month of this hunting season, I'm giving away binos. Okay, bye.
Well, guys, it's the end of food plot season. We're at least in the middle of it, as far as like big food plots go, or like your big fall food plots and stuff like that. So you got to take care of them. I'm running into a scenario right now where we implemented some new food plots in some new areas. We're all doing this. We're sometimes we're tilling up the ground. I did not. We did flatten out one of those food plots, so we disrupted the ground to a certain extent in some of these areas. But when you do that, you get weeds, right? And this time of year, when you're planting the greens, the brassicas, the chicories, clovers, maybe even at that point, like, hopefully those are already implemented, but maybe you're putting them in, so that next year you have good quality perennials, which is not a bad idea. And in fact, I'd recommend it. You should add them in with your late summer blends. And if you didn't, go spread it over the top right now. It's not what we're talking about in this video, but nonetheless, like, you got to be able to handle your weed control. And it's an issue that I'm having on one of my farms this year, just simply because we're implementing new food plots in new areas. And when you do that, the weed control can get out of hand because you're leveling out the food plot. You're trying to get it prepped, and you should do that initially. You should get into no-tilling later for this reason, whether you're using a no-till drill or spreading it on top and cultipacking. Make the most of what you got. That's definitely a good idea. But guys, in some of my food plots, like, I'm dealing with some of the worst grasses that I've ever seen, like thick, nasty stuff. And a lot of times we don't talk about herbicide usage with these radishes, turnip, brassica, broadleaf blends, but you need to know that there's an option. And if you guys are at that stage in which, like, first of all, your plants should be germinated. Like, technically, this is a selective herbicide, and it will not kill your plants, but don't be spraying on your seed. Your seed's just too vulnerable. I haven't personally tried it. I just don't do it. I wait till everything's germinated, at least, to be spraying this product. Clethodim is the product we're talking about today, onto my broadleaf food plots. If those grasses are out competing, I would have mowed them down first, at the very least, before we drilled or spread seed into them. But now if those grasses are going to start to outcompete it and keep that food plot from even growing, that's when you go in there and hit it with Clethodim. Now there's a little secret tip in here that you need to be using when using Clethodim. And there is a way to, like, cut corners, and you're going to get cut corner results. You need to be mixing in something with that Clethodim. I have not had luck with this. Do not be using a surfactant. Like, you can find them on Amazon. You can probably find them at hardware stores. You can find them even at, like, seed read. I don't know. You can find them quite a few places. Don't use a surfactant. I have not had, and I'm telling you because of personal luck. I've not had luck with the surfactant, which helps, like, with the absorption of the chemicals that you spray on the plants when you mix that in the tank with the chemical itself. Use a crop oil when it comes to using Clethodim. I have sprayed numerous times with surfactants on Clethodim in different states, on different food plots, with piss poor results. That's all it comes down to, guys. So if you're going to use Clethodim, you got to use a crop oil. And now realize some of your blends that you guys are using might have some oats in it, might have some rye in it, might have some wheat in it. Realize that those are grasses, and that Clethodim will kill those portions of your food plot. So you're going to have to weigh out, like, hey, is it worth killing it off to get better germination of the other things in that food plot, or not? This is the time of year in which you really need to, like, you need to make a decision, because otherwise you're not going to have good food plots. And at least if you did go in there and you hit it with Clethodim, which does have a residual effect, and I will wait probably about 14 days after spraying Clethodim to incorporate new seed if I were to do that. I would be adding at that point maybe some oats, wheat, and rye, to fill in those voids if you had to kill off some of that initial oats, wheat, and rye, or whatever else is planted in those other blends. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say you pick the blend like Green Machine from Domain, and it has grasses in it, and if you spray it with Clethodim, you kill them. But you do have the opportunity to come back in there by September 1st-ish, give or take, even a little bit later, broadcast more in there. Make sure you waited 14 days after you sprayed Clethodim with a crop oil. Make sure you're using a crop oil. Don't get a surfactant. Make sure you're using a crop oil, guys. So at the end of the day, guys, there is something that you can do about weeds in brassica food plots, broadleaf food plots, and it's using Clethodim. Don't do it when they're seed, like, don't do it on the seed. They're very vulnerable at that point. Should you be fine? In theory. Am I going to mess with it? Nope. Not that late in the game. If you do spray it and you kill some of your stuff, you can incorporate more later. Just wait 14 days because Clethodim does have a residual effect. So, guys, at the end of the day, guys, if your food plots are failing, or if you're trying to figure out a first-year food plot in an area where you incorporated more weeds because you tilled up the ground and you did all these other things, Clethodim might be your secret ticket to success this fall, guys. See you next time.